So Simon, thank you for your time, for coming here today. What I'm basically gonna do is ask you some questions our beloved community wants to know.
So our cable's over 4 meters, so it's quite a long cable. So that means you can sit a good distance away, but we kind of have an advantage that we want to really constrain people to that kind of distance, because obviously we're using the PlayStation camera to track you as well. So we don't really want you to be, 20 meters away and a tiny little dot on our camera. So it's kind of important that you kind of, stay reasonably close to it. So, over 4 meters is probably a good length for that cable anyway. Hopefully it'll solve everyone's case of the room.
All right.
Certainly when it comes to chin straps, we don't think there should be any need for that. I mean, we've done a lot of work. When you look at the hardware that we've actually created, this is the actual PlayStation virtual reality headset here. There's been a lot of effort put into getting the ergonomics as good as we can possibly get that. Obviously it's a new piece of wearable technology, so it's something that there's no real precedent for what to expect and how people are going to wear this. So there's a lot of work. It's probably the most difficult problem to solve in making the hardware, to get it to be intuitive and easy to wear and all the rest of it. Now, what we actually have is, the reason why it shouldn't need a chin strap is when you put the headset on, so it's elasticated, so you can put that over your head and then you let go of that and it naturally pulls against your head, hopefully holding itself in place. But if you want it tighter, you can actually twist this, and as you can see, it ratchets closed and then makes it nice and tight on your head if that's what you want, and then you just press the button and it releases. And there's plenty of padding here to absorb a lot of pressure to keep it so you can have it very tight. So then once you've tightened it on as much as you want and shake your head around, it's not going to come off. So you certainly wouldn't need a chin strap. And I think not having a chin strap makes it much simpler and more usable anyway. So I think that's an important aspect, is keeping it nice and simple. In terms of wear and tear, all these materials, obviously, Sony know consumer electronics pretty well. We've been making things like headphones, which is actually a very similar solution when you think about it. These things are designed to sit on your hair, which is like headphones. We've got a lot of experience of that, so we're quite comfortable that we've chose the right materials to mean you shouldn't have to worry about replacing these kind of things.
Yeah, and it's very light as well.
Yeah, definitely very lightweight.
You barely notice it when you're wearing it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it's not only the fact that it's lightweight, the other important factor is actually its balance. You'll notice that it's balanced fairly much in the middle, which means that when it's sitting on your head, you're not feeling like it's pulling down at the front, and making you want to go like this. It's just nice and comfortable, and balance is as important as weight in a lot of regards as well. So certainly we've been putting a lot of effort into taking PlayStation VR all around the world, and particularly around Europe as well. It's quite apparent that to understand the value of VR and to really get it, you've got to put the headset on, and then you're just amazed by the experience, and no one can ever explain to you what that's like. So we understand that it's important to get the experience out there and let people try it. So we're certainly going to do a lot of work on that. There's not much we can say at this point, but expect it to hopefully be coming to a place near you soon, I think, is the general answer to that. So this one's an interesting one, really. As far as the hardware is concerned, we're very happy that the hardware itself is fine. So if you were, let's take an example. If I wanted to watch a movie in virtual reality, I'd put the headset on, I could do that, no problem at all, and I'd be very surprised if I could find anyone that would ever get motion sick doing that. So the hardware itself, fine. And the reason there is that PlayStation 4 is really powerful. It can drive the headset at 120 frames per second. It can deliver images to the headset, including having figured out where your head is in under 18 milliseconds, which is nothing. That's like, you probably couldn't even stop a stopwatch that says 18 milliseconds. It's too quick for even that. So, that's a really, really tiny amount of time. So that's great. So the headset itself, fine. Then what you've got to think about is the content is kind of a bit like going to a theme park. So you walk into the theme park, you can walk around the gardens, you can go on the monorail, you can go on some, simple rides, you can maybe work up to something like a log flume that's kind of a bit exciting, but again, not particularly scary. And then you look at these huge white knuckle rides as well, and you think, all these things are available to you. These are the content breadth of content for virtual reality. And you've got to choose what's comfortable for you. If you go on something as your first experience that's like a crazy roller coaster, well, you can imagine that if you did that in the real world, you'd probably feel uncomfortable. You know, maybe you want to work up to that and figure out what roller coasters are the sort of thing that you can get to and then get experience and move your way up. So all these things will exist. It's really a case of choosing where your starting point is and what you're comfortable with in terms of, you know, keeping yourself comfortable really with virtual reality.
That's actually a pretty good example for it. Like
I think it's the best way to think about it because it's kind of good to have the choice. Because if I say, imagine a crazy roller coaster that spins around like this, some people go, that sounds horrible, and some people go, bring it on, you know. And so really, I think it's important that we can consider this range of content and think of it in them terms. So at the moment, the standard share features that are on PlayStation 4 still work for VR. You've probably seen we have what we call the social screen, which is something that lets everyone in the room see what you're seeing in your headset, but obviously in a TV form, so that means they can maybe play along with you, or maybe if you play an adventure game that's got puzzles, they know where the game's up to, they can help you solve the puzzles by talking to you, and then if you want to take a turn, you can just take a turn and you know where the game's up to. So that works great for that kind of thing, but because we have that, it also means that you can actually capture that as well using our share functionality and then share that. So, you know, all those features are there too, because we do appreciate the fact that people will want to share these things. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't be sharing it as a VR thing. It'd be, you can capture the equivalent of it and share that with people. But really, you know, VR is its own thing. You'd experience that in a different way. So, but yeah, we still think it's important to have the share features that people can talk about and communicate and pass around. So they're all still there. Absolutely, and that's been a real important thing for us from the start. So when you look at the hardware, so as I said before, the ergonomics are the most difficult part of the whole project. So what we have is, there's this button on the bottom that you can press and then this moves apart. So it means you can accommodate a wide range of glasses and let people then slide this up to their glasses once they're wearing it, and it's no problem, it all fits in well. It also, because this is fitting on the front and back of your head, here and here, it's not putting any pressure on your face at all. So the glasses aren't being pressed into your face. You know, it makes a huge difference. And so far, we've tried this on thousands and thousands of people. And we always say, you know, leave your glasses on, because it's actually a good thing. Because when you think about it, your glasses are there to correct your vision to a standard. And if your glasses are doing that work, that means you can guarantee a good result when you look into a headset, because you're just seeing the world in the same way that you see the world every day. So it means that, yeah, you can get an even better virtual reality experience by just keeping your glasses on.
Sehr geehrte Zugucker, wir haben Ihnen eine wichtige Nachricht mitgebracht.
Eine sehr, sehr wichtige Nachricht. Vielleicht habt ihr es am Titel dieses Videos schon erkannt. Der Livestream kommt wieder. Achtung! Wuhu!